Welcome to Pucked Up Hockey Moms, the landing space for moms of all ages, shapes, and sizes. And we won't hate it if the non-mom joins either. We just hope your ears are as unfiltered as our mouths, and you're as passionate about hockey as we are. It's time to get offside, ladies, and no whistles are being blown here. Welcome, everyone, to our very first episode of Pucked Up Hockey Moms. I'm your host, Amanda, and we are all excited to be here. Maybe myself more than others. Let's start off with a brief intro on who's here and a bit about ourselves and what brings us here. We have Janai, Carla, Katrina, and myself. We'll start off with Janai.
Hi, everyone. My name is Janai. I'm a mom of 2 hockey players. I'm 43 and I live in Victoria, BC.
Thanks, Janai. And Katrina.
Hi, everyone. I'm Katrina. I'm a mom of 3 kids, one of whom is a hockey player, one of whom is just starting, and I live in Victoria, BC as well.
Thank you. And over to you, Carla.
Hi, my name is Carla. I'm a mom of 2. I have a daughter who plays hockey currently, and I have a son who retired from hockey at the ripe old age of 9. And I am from Victoria.
Nice. That brings us back to me. I am Amanda, obviously, and I am a mother of 2. I have a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old. I had to think about that. They both play hockey, and I have been in this wonderful hockey community for like 11 years. Okay, ladies, let's start roundtable style with what do you remember most about the first year of hockey? Who wants to go first? Katrina.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think the first year of hockey, I had blinders on. I don't know, I was just new back in the city and, just looking to meet some people. So when the kids started playing, it was pretty fun.
Back in the city from where?
We used to live abroad. So
yeah,
the kids played hockey abroad for a while until we moved back here. And then this is really where their hockey careers started in Victoria.
Was it like completely different than starting here? Like the first season when they played abroad was that?
Yeah, what was it like playing hockey abroad?
It was fun because where we lived there wasn't any other hockey club, so we'd have to travel away to tournaments, and that would mean like catching flights.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And how old were they?
They're young. They're like 4 and 6.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah. So we travel a lot of places actually.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But then your first year that it was really different was coming back to Canada.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the parents here were different. They took hockey very seriously, and there was a lot of there's no hockey parent experience.
What? Canadians take hockey seriously? What?
Let's talk about the club you joined. How about that? It's probably the most serious club.
We are not naming names. We are not naming names here, people.
They're like, how old are they? I don't remember now. We've been back 7.
So, like 5?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And did she start hockey right away? When you guys lived abroad, she started?
She played there.
And then came right here and hopped right into hockey here.
Correct.
Okay.
So we played. Yeah, we played with Phil and Amanda.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's how we met.
Yeah. And I remember you guys had to get her released.
Yes.
From abroad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Like they didn't. Yeah. Yeah. They didn't want her to play Hockey Canada because she wasn't they had to get released from.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's crazy. So it was a bit different. But yeah, that's where we first met was when you first came.
That's right.
But that was my second go around. Not second go around. That was like my youngest second year. That was my youngest second year in hockey, or maybe second year. And my son had already been in it for 5 years when we met you. But it's amazing. Like that feels so long ago.
Mm.
But it was still like yesterday still.
So was it your son and Katrina's daughter that played together, or
no? Our daughters played together.
Oh, okay,
but your son was playing at that time too, and he's a year younger than my son. So they weren't on the same team or anything, but they were at the same association. So we crossed paths a lot. And my husband was coaching, I think, at that time, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think he was on the bench because I coached or assistant coach because let's be clear, I can't skate and I don't know. I can't. Yeah,
I can skate, but I can't stop.
Yeah, stopping is a problem. Yeah. I can make it on the ice and attempt to do crossovers that look like a baby giraffe with all four legs tangled together, but I have two legs. So, I attempted because my daughter was afraid of being the only girl on the ice. I told her I would get out and learn how to skate poorly, and coach her or get on the bench staff so that she wouldn't be the only girl.
That's amazing.
And then fortunately, there were other people to like make sure I didn't injure a child and land on them often. And there was another girl. And then the second year I too, but I broke my wrist and didn't have to go very often. I did not break it on the ice or landing on a child. Let's be clear. I broke it doing something else stupid. But then I got out of it and there was more girls and Delaney definitely did not need me by then.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, Carla, what was your first experience like then?
So both my kids started in first shift.
Okay.
And
which is the best program, by the way.
Advocate over here.
Yes.
They did that. It's a 6-week program. You get all your gear for, at the time it was $200. I think it's now $3. And so that ran October, November into December, and my daughter was totally hooked. So we registered her to join an association. My son joined a different association, and we went from there. And yeah, it was a whole new world. Something I had no idea about. And my kid's dad had no experience with hockey at all, and not much of a desire to learn anything.
So interesting that why did you choose hockey as a team sport?
Compared to soccer had no appeal to me.
Okay.
So, and it was low commitment. It was per shift.
Low commitment.
Somebody hooked you. You got snowed. Oh man,
that's amazing.
I'm never gonna forget that low commitment. I think that's the biggest load of shit I've ever heard anyone say about hockey.
First shift gets you, right?
Oh,
yeah,
everybody join first shift. Low commitment guy. What about you, Janai?
What was the question again?
We digress, I know. What do you remember most about joining your first year of hockey?
To be honest, I can't remember why we picked hockey out of all the team sports.
Yeah.
But it was my son who first joined, and he was 5, and we hopped on the ice at tryouts at an association that we knew nothing about.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh my God, what have we just done? Like, my son hardly knew how to skate. He was like, it was assessments, right? It's like, it's like you hop on the ice and they do assessments. And I was like, what have we just put our son in? I was like, there's kids skating around, circles around everyone, going top shelf. And my kid hardly knew how to skate.
Was he a tripod?
100%. And I was just like, what have we got ourselves into? Oh my God. But we don't quit. We're a family that doesn't quit. So we persevered, and he's almost 16 and still playing hockey. So that was my very first experience with hockey. And I was like, whoa, man.
That is insanity. So what did we wish we knew when we first entered the hockey world? Because we talked about what it was like and what we remember, but if there was something that you wished you knew ahead of time. I mean, obviously Carla here wishes that she knew about the time commitment because clearly she got screwed on that one, but so maybe we can skip Carla. No, I'm just kidding. Other than the time, Carla, what do you wish you knew?
this sounds really weird, but it was really confusing at first to get a schedule that said your ice time was from 7 o'clock till 8 o'clock in the morning, and then the girls would get off at 7:50. I had no idea what ice cleans were.
Oh, that's fair. Ice is different.
And it's different at every rink.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's 12 minutes, sometimes
yeah.
it's 15. Like, I just don't even know half the time.
Yeah, when the clock like buzzes and they're in the middle of a breakaway and you're like, they're going to tie it up. And then the buzzer goes
And everyone's
conveniently and you're like, what's happening? Yeah.
So,
Ice
yeah,
time.
it sounds weird, but ice cleans, like, had no idea what they were, why they ate into our time. Like,
Why didn't you schedule it differently?
Like,
Yeah.
it made no sense. I understand.
Yeah. I can understand that.
Yeah.
How about you, Katrina?
Well, obviously the crazy hockey parent thing threw me for a loop. But I actually have met some really great people.
None of them are here. Zero.
Try to avoid them.
Yeah, no, don't talk to the nice ones.
Yeah.
We have no use for them.
But like, it's crazy how we
Yeah.
knew each other so long ago, and then
Yeah.
just have kind of followed each other
Through associations.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I guess that's something, I mean, we're all from Victoria. Victoria is small, but the hockey community is even smaller.
It's large, but it's so small.
I know. Which is what I like. Also, for parents getting into hockey,
Yeah.
I wish they would like just keep going, stick it out, because some of my favorite and best friends are sitting around this table.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
you know, you don't know that going into hockey, that they're going to be a huge part of your life for a very long time. And you're going to experience a lot of good and bad. And it's such a family, right?
Yeah.
So I would want people to know that. I wish I knew that. I'm glad we stuck it out because obviously I have you guys, but
it's overwhelming.
Yeah. If you're in it, just stick it out because you're going to make the best friends in those hard years of raising children.
Yeah. I know.
It is so funny though that I have like winter hockey friends. And then I don't see you guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Till summer. And I have like summer friends that are like, oh, you're out again.
Oh,
you're out of hockey friends now.
You're out of hibernation.
Yeah.
I know. I have my like best friend since I've known since kindergarten, and she's like, "Oh, is hockey done yet? Like, can we go to Hornby Island now? Is it time for summer?" It's like we literally talk like once every couple months just to make sure we're alive during hockey season, and then boom, it's summer and we're allowed to like touch base again. But
doesn't it also feel like summers keep getting shorter?
They do.
Yes, they do.
As the kids get older and their hockey gets more intense. Yeah. No. What do I wish I knew? No, it is very overwhelming. And when I tell people what my schedule is like, they're like, I could never do that and everything. But it doesn't start this busy. Like if you're looking at another hockey family and comparing yourself to them and thinking you can't do that, just remember that it starts off with a smaller schedule. Like if you're starting in the beginning, it's not as much. And you can add a little bit at a time, and the commitment is really what you and your child are going to do. So it's only as busy as you really want to commit to and as your child wants to commit to. But every season you kind of add a little bit more to your plate, and you don't really notice until 11 years later when you explain it to strangers who think that you're crazy, and you realize that you don't have as much time as you do, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's anything I would really take, because I have met the best friends in my life. Like I've met some people that I want nothing to do with in life. And
there's always those.
Yeah. And I honestly, when I see them, I look the other way because I know that they like are just not someone I want to associate with. But I also have to bite my tongue because it's a very small community.
It's a very small community, and those people will come around again, and you'll see them at rinks, and
you'll cross paths for the next 15 years, and it is not worth it. So that is another thing. Another piece of advice I'd say is careful what you say and to who, because you never know who or what or how they're related, and you don't want to like end your child's hockey career before it starts. And by hockey career, I don't mean like the NHL or the PWHL. I just mean like their minor hockey association. Yeah, you don't want to have to move so quickly because of your words, you know? And I have so many words that I say and stick my foot in it often. So we kind of covered our next one, which was going to be tips and advice. So,
tips and advice for a newbie.
but no, I mean, you gave some good tips, but I think we have a lot more. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you're like a new to hockey parent, I think another tip is to just go with what your child is pushing to go with.
Yeah.
So don't overdo it with like the edge work and the power skating and just whatever your child is asking for, just lead with that.
Yes.
So if your child is asking to do power skating, great, sign them up.
Yeah.
But don't go.
If the Joneses are doing this and the Joneses are doing that and the Smiths are doing this, that doesn't mean that little Johnny wants to do it.
That's right.
Let's see what little Johnny wants to do, because at the end of the day, if they're not on board, you're just in for a battle and it's not worth it.
You're just going to burn them out, right? You can't sign up for everything unless they're
wanting to do it, and then kind of take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I know my kids do a lot of things, but I always say to them, do you want to do this? Like, this is an option if you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to finish this and keep doing it through the entire course or season, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
And so unless you're going to commit to this now, we're not signing up.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to do it. It's just an option. So they always choose what they want to do. And then we do it or don't do it.
Another tip for newbies, if you have no hockey background, skates need sharpening.
And new skate guards. Yeah.
Yeah, skates are cool too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then once you really get into it, you find out that your skates need to be profiled.
Yeah. That's intense. That's
I was
next
like,
level.
what? I was like, my daughter kept falling all the time on the ice, and I just thought, oh man, she's just whatever. She's falling.
Awful.
Yeah, she's terrible. She'll
get better.
And somebody's like, oh, have you gotten your skates profiled? I was like, what are you talking about? Never heard about this in my life. Like,
was it a dad? Was it a dad, and did he mansplain that to you?
No, it was a mom.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm just making sure.
I was like, hockey mom, like, why didn't you tell me about this? She's like, well, they say if they're falling all the time, you need to get the skates profiled. I was like, okay. News to me. News to me.
Or you could just, buy your own skate sharpener when you're next level. Yeah. Because you're tired of driving in from soup.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything that you would change if you could? Or would you change anything? If we haven't covered it already, because I know we're kind of like answering some of the questions I had.
What would you change if you could?
About like, if you could go back and change anything in your first year of hockey, is there anything that you would be like, that you change?
I don't think so.
That was a really good awkward silence.
Yeah.
I
don't think I did anything.
No.
I do like for
Or to sharpen skates.
and blacked out a lot more time. You're like,
I think for me, I learned a lot from my first child being in hockey compared to then my second child, because it was so hard to get my 5 and 6 year old out of bed for 6 a.m. practices on the weekend. They're exhausted. I was like, we battled through it for like 2-3 years. Yeah. And then when my daughter came along, I was like, I'm not doing that. No. I'm not getting her up when she's 5 and 6 to do the 6 a.m. practices. I'm like, she can skate in the afternoon, like she can just do her thing. And then she started when she was 7. So I was like, we just didn't have to do that grind, right? I just wasn't.
Look at you cheating the system.
I wasn't going to do it. I was like, it's such a grind. So I think I learned a bit there.
So basically what we're saying, ladies, is we're awesome and we wouldn't change anything.
That's right.
And even though we had a lot of bumps and bruises in the beginning, we still have had a pretty good go round of it with our kids so far. So
Yeah, totally.
Agree.
that's awesome. I am super happy you guys joined me because I've been very excited for weeks to do this.
Very excited.
And like spamming your inboxes for all of you 2 people listening to this podcast right now. Spamming your inboxes. Yeah. Okay. Totally not listening. Don't even say hi to him. Bill is not listening. It's my mom, and then she's gonna give us screenshots of Instagram of what we need to know for female hockey because she's got the best grandma vote, and she's gonna be even happier that she made the podcast. We're super sad that Kelly couldn't join us today. So, I mean, if I had better editing skills, I could figure out how to add her in there, but maybe we'll figure that out next week. But thank you, ladies, for joining us. We're going to drop an episode every week and figure out how we roll this every week, whether we just keep drinking while doing this or we interview people in between. If you guys have any questions or anything, you can drop comments in Instagram or there should be a text link in the show notes as well, and it goes to the fan mail and we will answer. So thanks again.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for tuning in today, and we appreciate you listening. Catch us next week for another mix of hockey tales, tricks, and or tips.